Hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
I'm dragging it out. I'm sorry. I'm screwed up here. We took care of Mission and Epping and all them people up there, and Tasca got the win. And on top of it, we're taking care of Bristol. And the fans showed up. That's what we strive for. And NHRA is working hard, but they're trying to make a lot of people happy. I'm trying to make a lot of people happy. My crew chiefs would run me off right now. I gave away lane choice every round. We should have been up in the top. So I'm there ain't no bullshit. I'm old and that's just the way it is. But tough shit I drive.
Oh, the legend. Come on, man.
Love him.
John Force, Thunder Valley, with another legendary top-end interview here in the Freak Nation. How you doing, man? It's a Sunday night. It's hot in portions of the country. It's humid in portions of the country, but doesn't matter, man. You got Speed Freaks for the next 2 hours on the Freak Radio Network and, of course, on MAV TV. Be sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there for you. The website, speedfreaks.tv, Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave. We've got three of us in the same damn studio this weekend. It's pretty phenomenal. Statman is not once again in the studio. Statman, where the hell are you this weekend, dude?
I don't know, but let me just say that John Force by himself is a Thunder Valley. Without question. John Force, I love the man. He is taking care of us.
Mm-hmm.
So many people. He doesn't even want anybody to know about it, but he's a personification of Thunder Valley.
You heard Statman, John Force, who's an OG here with the Freak. Speaking of OGs, Steve Johnson, NHRA Pro Stock Bike winner from Bristol. He'll be here in the Freak Nation. Martin Truex, your winner from Napa Valley. Sonoma will be here in the Freak Nation. We've also got Connor Zilich. He'll be here in the Freak Nation. A 16-year-old in the Trans Am series, the TA2 class, kicking ass. 16 years old, beating dudes that are 3, maybe 4 times his age, Crasher.
Yes, without question.
So Connor Zilich will be here in the Freak Nation. And since we are 14 days away from celebrating 3 years,
22 in front of that.
23 years of Speed Freaks and the Freak Radio Network and the whole branding of Speed Freaks. June 25th, 2000 is when we started this thing. We'll have a flashback in the second hour. Tony Kanaan, November of 2006, had yet to win the Indy 500. He was was it Champ Car champion or IndyCar champion in 2003? Crasher, it was IndyCar 2003, right?
Oof.
Yeah.
It was with Andretti. So were they back in the IRL side of things by then?
Yeah. So Tony Kanaan, on the heels of him retiring from the Indy 500 and running in the IndyCar series, we'll go back a few years for that one. We're actually on the stage at SEMA. If you're familiar with SEMA, I don't need to get into the whole minutia of that, but we've had a lot of TV shows under our belt. This one was on ESPN2, I think it was, after we were on Speed Channel for a few years. So we got a hell of a flashback. Of course, almost the Daytona 24 hours, the 24 hours of Le Mans went off this weekend. I watched about 6 minutes of Le Mans. I don't like it
No, you didn't. No. Truth be told, I woke up on Saturday. You were already face full into your cell phone watching it on the Motor Trend recaps. Or come on, Kenny, be honest. It was maybe 6D minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I was coming off of a hangover, so I wasn't able to count at the time, Crasher.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
But Statman, unless I was seeing the thing wrong, it reminded me of the Formula One days when ESPN or whoever it was, Speed Channel, would take the Formula One feed and they just took whatever that was coming to them. They had no idea what was coming. They would switch to different shots and have different drivers. The continuity, the flow was just, it's like you and me sitting outside calling a freaking Sandlot baseball game.
Mystery Science 3000, wasn't it? Yeah, just people watching. When I tried to watch it, they'd cut away from action and go to commercial and come back in mid-sentence to it. I don't know. It just, I love Le Mans, but the people have mangled it so much in the last, it's impossible to watch.
Here's a perfect example of 24 hours of Le Mans. We're going to get to Sonoma and Martin Truex coming up in moments. A perfect example. I tuned in Saturday morning, not too far into the race, and Ricky Taylor, a very good friend of the Freak Nation, the Taylor family, very good friends of the Freak Nation. Just a gnarly accident, and we're spoiled. It's like, okay, go to the replay, get me a close-up, let me see what happened. They couldn't call that. Here is a predominantly a very popular family, road racing here in the States, but they couldn't go back and show me really what happened and why it happened. We're just at the mercy of this G-damn feed. And I understand Motor Trend and so forth had their hands tied, but damn it.
Did they?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know, but it's the 25. Listen, I'm supposed to believe that the 24 hours of Le Mans is bigger than the Daytona 24 hours, that it's bigger than some Formula One races, that it's the epitome of every driver wants to win this G-damn race. Well, they treat their freaking production as such, that every driver wants to win this freaking race. It's France. It's beautiful. During the race, people aren't rude in France. My ass, the production crew's rude. Give me a better production.
Rude for not giving us what we want.
Yeah.
Better footage. This is the anniversary of the first running, the 100-year anniversary of the first running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, 1923. Yeah. Hello. They should have invested more of everything into this race. 325,000 people allegedly showed up in person. So why can't you give the rest of the world what they want?
Statman, this is like Morse code, ticker tape coverage 100 years later. I want to see replays. I'm spoiled. I want it to be up to the second in coverage and spontaneous commentary of what the hell I'm seeing. It sounded so 80s and 90s when they're talking about there's the NASCAR 56 garage, and then all of a sudden there's a Porsche. Oh, and then there's we're spoiled.
Yeah,
we are.
I mean, that's the international feed that they give us, and probably contractually with Motor Trend Plus. But you would think that they would try to have what they're talking about match what's on the screen, but so many times that doesn't happen, and the graphics are so small an old man can't see them like me, and I got to get 2 inches from the TV screen to be able to see it. I mean, I'm with you, Kenny. It's almost unwatchable. It was a good TV show when Speed Channel would send people there, or at least have somebody in Charlotte that was talking American as opposed to English. So yeah, I'm with you.
Richie, again, we got to get the millennial take on this. I know how you like to drink on Friday nights and typically don't get out of bed until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Did you catch any of me?
Just entertain.
Yeah. Did you catch any of the race? I saw that you were on social media, at least pretending to be.
What do you think was the over-under on how many minutes I watched it? Because I did watch some of it. Mm-hmm. Give me an over-under quickly.
20.
10.
15.
Kenny wins. I watched about 15 minutes of it. And when I watched it, I believe it was yesterday afternoon. Mm-hmm. And when I watched it, full course yellow, because they can't drive and there was a massive wreck. And when they tried to show the replay, all I saw were massive headlights on the TV coming right at me. And I couldn't really see what the heck happened. That was it.
Your entire 15 minutes was a full course caution?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I did see the Garage 56 car one time, and they showed an in-car camera, and I thought it was really cool that like the inside of the Garage 56 car looked completely different than it does in NASCAR Cup Series. There were so many more buttons and screens. It was cool. and then there was a caution. I turned the channel.
So how
never
about
went
this?
Back.
Crasher, Stat, Suave, we've been doing this almost 23 years. Almost 23 years. We've already spent 10 minutes talking. We spent 10 minutes talking about Le Mans. We've never spent 10 minutes talking about Le Mans.
Oh, yes, we have. We've had interviews with the winners from Le Mans.
I'm talking about Date Crasher. I don't recall ever talking about it right after it finished. I really don't.
We had the winners on. I know we were in this very studio 4 years ago. We had the winners on because Paul Ryan, one of the great PR guys,
right,
he ended up getting us the winners. So we have.
Okay, minus a winner. We haven't talked this much about. She almost did it again. About the 24 hours of Le Mans. It was made
the night of it finishing.
Right. Okay. There you go. It was so in our face about the 56 Garage 56 car, NASCAR, the France family, the 100th running, that it got me hooked until I tuned in and saw that freaking college broadcast from my old college days of 1982, a 10-watt freaking TV station reaching about 1,300 people. I'm pissed. Sorry about that. We got a break, guys. Coming up next, your winner from Sonoma. I got jacked up for Sonoma. Did you get jacked up for Sonoma too, Freak Nation? And then that happened? Congratulations to Martin Truex. I mean, Statman's been on the Truex bandwagon, I think, since Truex flew out of his mama. But the fact that Truex got himself a win, it's a big deal for him. But that race, we'll hear from him and his team owner, Joe Gibbs, who was asked about Kyle Busch. That's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. 3, 2, and 1.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use code FREAKS for 15% off. And for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at WWTRaceway.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it?
not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation, coming up in moments, Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes, and your winner from Sonoma, Ryan Truex. Martin Truex Jr. will be here in the Freak Nation. And Joe Gibbs, who was asked about Kyle Busch as a team owner of Kyle Busch's car and now running against Kyle Busch. We'll get to that coming up in moments. But first, we're talking about Field of Greens. If you get a chance, Freak Nation, go to fieldofgreens.com. If you don't get a chance to eat enough fruits and vegetables, it's my suggestion to roll with Field of Greens, real organic superfood. We do it. We're on the road quite often. If you're tired of barking out pine cones and want smooth metabolism, heart health, liver health, it's Field of Greens.
You seriously just
I did say
said
that. Yeah. Go to fieldofgreens.com.
Right now, that's what I got in my water bottle.
Yeah.
I put 2 scoops in this large water bottle. Boom.
That's how we roll. Go to fieldofgreens.com. Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com. That's lucasoil.com to find the products to keep your rides, 2-wheel, boat, hot rod, a sedan. Keep those rides on the road. Go to lucasoil.com. Crasher?
All right, so we talked about it much of the first segment. This weekend's big event was the 100th anniversary of the first running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I don't know if it's any sort of Indy 500 competition or a dig of any sort, but the promoters were very happy to go on and on and on about 325,000 people in attendance. Remember, that's roughly the same number that the Indy 500 was boasting about. So not sure what's going on there. They're 2 separate races, completely different forms of racing. To each their own. All right, congrats to Corvette for taking the final GTE win. Ben Keating, Nico Veroni, and Nicky Katzberg driving from 2 laps down in the early hours to a very historic 9th win, finalizing the class. The overall win was by Ferrari, driven by Antonio Giovinazzi, James Calado, and Alessandro Pierguidi. Tell me, those names aren't Italian, right?
That's awesome.
Yes. Now listen to this. They won one of the crazier races in recent memory. The first time Ferrari has won the overall since. You know what? I know Statman knows this. Kenny, Richie, take a guess. When was the last time Ferrari won the overall at the 24 Hours of Le Mans?
1926.
Okay, they've won it 10 times, Kenny.
Oh.
I saw this on Twitter a lot today. 1989, I think. Ish.
Richie's closer. 1965. That's a long freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari back on the overall. All right, we'll get to more U.S.-based stuff. Motocross. This is the 3rd race in. Yes, we're going to go with this argument yet again. It's still a small sample size, but still only one guy has been winning every single moto, and he's a freaking rookie. Jet Lawrence continues to just dominate the 450s. His brother Hunter Lawrence taking the overall in the 250s. Justin Cooper with one of the moto wins there, however. All right, NHRA had 2 events because of the rain out in Epping, New Hampshire last weekend. So this weekend they had to run the New England Nats and the Thunder Valley Nats. First, the New England Nats were won by Bob Tasca in Funny Car and Justin Ashley in Top Fuel. Then today they finalized the Thunder Valley Nats. Justin Ashley doubling up in Top Fuel. I'm just going to say this is all because we had him on last weekend during the rain out, but this is clearly Speed Freaks
Mojo.
Yes. Justin Ashley with the double up in Bristol.
Yep.
All right, Ron Capps taking the Funny Car win. Erica Enders with Pro Stock and Steve Johnson with Pro Stock Motorcycle. Steve Johnson has not been in the Speed Freaks pits in a while. He will be joining us later in the show. You do not want to miss him and his personality. And then, of course, NASCAR in wine country. It was Eric Almirola. Retirement? What? Taking the win in the Xfinity Series, and then Martin Truex Jr. with the win in the Cup Series. Martin Truex Jr. basically bookending the Fox Sports broadcasting because he won and also bookending it with California wins. He won in the Coliseum to kick off Fox's broadcast back in February. This was Fox's last race for the season with NASCAR, and Martin Truex takes that win as well. Kind of a bummer. It's Kevin Harvick's last time racing in his home state in the Big Time Cup Series, and nothing to really show for it. It's just kind of a bummer. Oh, other news, though, for those of our Lucas Oil, Kyle Busch fans out there, there are tons of you, clearly.
Right.
The McLaren grills on the side of Kyle Busch's car again. He got second. Their website crashed again. It's in the middle of a crash right now, according to them on Twitter. You Kyle Busch fans are crazy cool. Basically, you guys equal sales, period.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Thank you, Crasher. And again, we can get into the argument about Jet Lawrence and are we watching the Phenom? And I know that there are 2 or 3 other top-tier riders that aren't in the series. Eli Tomac, for one. I get all that, but still, you go out there and win whatever's thrown your way. Jet Lawrence, it's bonkers what he's
still racing against massively top-class athletes, and he's kicking their butts.
Your stat man scat coming up, Freak Nation. Then, of course, we've also got moments. We've had Martin Truex coming up, and you heard Crasher talk about Steve Johnson, NHRA Pro Stock Biker winner from our good friends there in Thunder Valley. He'll be coming up here in the Freak Nation. Hey, Joe Gibbs, of course, who owns the car of Martin Truex, as we know, was the team owner for many, many years of Kyle Busch's Cup car. And he was asked in the post-race press conference at Sonoma, about running against Kyle Busch now.
It's not fun. Yeah, we don't like that. Okay. And certainly we didn't want that to happen. It did. And, he's a real talent, got such respect for him. And, we don't like racing against Kyle. I think he's going to win a bunch, and we know it. And so we got to work our guts out to try and stay in front of him. And just thankful today that, Martin was able to stay there.
Hold on. We didn't want that to happen, but it did. Of course, he's referring to Kyle Busch leaving Joe Gibbs Racing. And of course, now with Richard Childress Racing. What do you mean we didn't want that to happen? You let it happen. You told him that things weren't going to work out for the next year. He would be best to find another ride. I don't understand the wording there.
No, wait a minute. I'm not a Joe Gibbs apologist by any stretch. But if Joe Gibbs doesn't have the sponsorship to sponsor a car for Kyle Busch, then what's he supposed to do? Come out of his own pocket and pay for it himself?
Valid. All right. And so Ty Gibbs getting that ride because of the Monster money. Is that
without question? Monster has become sort of a promoter or a representative of some of these drivers. Why do you think Kurt Busch is not driving for a Monster car anymore? And Kyle is driving it.
Well, Kyle's driving the McLaren car.
What's the Gibbs kid? Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs. Yeah.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs is driving for Monster. He's a Monster supported athlete. And Kurt is not, and he's a Monster supported athlete. Monster's manipulating a lot of strings in the background.
And then Tyler Reddick's in a Monster car. It is a little weird that Monster is kind of, you've got 2 different teams, 2 different drivers, obviously. And the same can be said for Bass Pro Shops. You've got 2 different cars, 2 different drivers, 2 different teams.
It's said all over in sport. Red Bull, for crying out loud, is sponsoring people in who knows how many things. So, Red Bull dropped Travis Pastrana in American Rallying and put their logo on Brendan Semenuk, and they were driving for the same Subaru team last year. So, yeah.
I just don't understand when a sponsor has 2 different competing teams, yet they're against each other in the same series. I get it if you're branching out all throughout motorsports or other sports, but 2 competitive teams in the exact same series. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And Monster's doing that, and Bass Pro Shops.
That happens. Okay. We could take the rest of the hour.
No, go for it.
You got a minute.
But that's what happens when you let the sponsor take over the program. And Monster's been working this up for a couple of years now, but when they kick somebody out of one of their cars and put somebody else in it, then they are taking over the program. Monster is the representative of these guys, and they're putting them in whoever they want in the seat.
Playing off of what Statman is saying, we got to break in about 45 seconds. When was the last time, and I'm not being facetious, you heard of a driver earning his seat without $0? We've got Connor Zelich coming up next hour, 16-year-old who at 16, dude's beating dudes' butts twice his age, but he still has to find cake to get a ride, not a top tier ride, but to get a ride in the IndyCar Series or the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, the Truck Series. So Statman, to a degree, yes, I agree. They're dictating what the team does with all that kind of blow they spend on the driver. So,
yeah, we pay the money, we mix the get rules.
Yeah. Freak Nation, coming up, we got your winner from Sonoma, Martin Truex, talking about running against his former teammate, Kyle Busch. You'll want to hear that. And Steve Johnson, NHRA Pro Stock Bike winner, joining us here in the Freak Nation. More freaks coming up.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use code FREAKS for 15% off. And for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system. Pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
As a trucker, you've seen every kind of road condition out there. One of the toughest is icy, freezing weather, which can thicken diesel fuel and clog system filters. That's why you need Lucas Anti-Gel Cold Weather Diesel Treatment. It prevents fuel gelling at extremely cold temperatures, lowers the cold filter plugging point of diesel and biodiesel fuels, and removes moisture from the entire fuel system. In turn, you get maximum performance and reliability. For more info, visit lucasoil.com. Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Big sports headlines this past week were Messi going to Miami and the Saudis taking over the PGA Golf Tour. They're calling it a merger, but the money is coming from the Saudis, and the branding remains under discussion, we're told. I was immediately drawn to the idea of Saudis taking over Formula One, another global sports entity, but I learned Liberty Media rejected a Saudi bid of $20 billion to buy that series last December. Apparently, Liberty wants an offer in the $30 billion range, or put another way, about $1.5 billion per team per car on the starting grid. It's another reason Michael Andretti keeps getting rejected in his offer to buy his way into F1. The people who run the sport don't see $1.5 billion of value in Andretti's efforts. Told the Saudis base their economy on oil at $100 a barrel. Last week it was about $75. So they need to find ways to make up the difference. Sports marketing, tourism, and real estate development is a start. They'll also need to find ways to offset any corporate partners who be against working with the Saudis because of that country's human rights issues. So stand by. The Saudis in motorsports isn't far-fetched going forward. Peace.
$20 billion, Freak Nation. Wrap your head around that bad boy. Your Statman Scat brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to GeneralTire.com and check out the tires for all of your rides, man. It's hot out there. Summer is coming, man. It's spring. A lot of storms hitting the northeast, southeast, Wombly. Make sure you go to GeneralTire.com to find the tires for your righteous ride, and don't be a dummy and run on bald tires. Get yourself some new General Tires.
So we're still, even though it's like 100 degrees in many areas, we're still supposed to call June spring because it's not technically the summer solstice.
Listen, I've been able to change a lot of things in my life, Crasher, but changing seasons, I have a difficult time changing underwear right now, so I can't do much about.
That's a little
Too
TMI.
much information.
Yeah, it was entirely too much information. Very true.
Martin Truex got the big win at Sonoma. Frankly, a boring race. And I don't think I'm alone with that assumption or that opinion. But Martin Truex, after the race, was asked about running against his former teammate. Does it make any difference running against his teammate or running up against his former teammate? Martin Truex, post-race.
I don't think it matters. You know, I think Kyle and I have raced together long enough and have enough respect for one another to race hard but race clean. I think we understand each other, know our limits, and, honestly, I think in the last, 17, 18 years, we've had maybe 2 run-ins where it was like, oh, that was stupid, I was an idiot. You know what I mean? One for each of us, literally, and we've had some great races. We finished 1-2 a lot of times. We've battled for the lead, for wins a bunch, and he's great to race with. I'd race with him any day of the week for a win, and feel like we could do it fair, we could do it hard and respectfully. So I was totally fine with him being at the front with me, and obviously I'm lucky. I'm happy he didn't get close, but because he would have been getting after it like he always does, but. No concerns at all to race against Kyle.
Again, it was looking like Kyle Busch was on his way to another race win, didn't pull it off. Martin Truex was asked about the late yellow in the Sonoma race, and typically late yellows in road course races, there's melee. It's madness on the track. Didn't happen on this track. Why not, Martin Truex?
Just the track layout. Narrow track. You go through turn 1 up the hill to turn 2. There's not a lot of room for like dive bombs. There's no room for guys to, compared to like Indianapolis, for example, you have a long straightaway that's 8 cars wide or 8 car widths wide going into a corner that's 2 cars wide, flat, 90 degrees. This is like you get through turn 1, it's slippery, it's kind of narrow. There's nowhere to go. You can't dive bomb people and just go in there like you do at COTA. You go up the hill and everybody bonsais and it's 5 wide and you got to turn, 120 degrees or 180 degrees to go back the other way and you get run over and run into. So just the track layout. And that's why I think, I watching Portland last weekend with moving the Xfinity starting the box to restart in back, that made their restarts a lot more sane and racy too, and not as much of just a clown show where everybody bonsais into turn 1 at the end of the race and runs through each other. We were a victim of that at COTA, and it's frustrating, but it's just the layout here of the track keeps that from happening for the most part.
Statman, I'll let you jump in on that because it sounded like he was subliminally talking to you regarding some of your opinions on these road courses with a few of these Cup drivers.
Well, I don't know about that. He is telling the truth. I mean, there's not the places to pass. You have to pass differently at Sonoma. You pass under braking. You pass. There's not real long straights where you could come out of a turn faster. So yeah, I mean, it's difficult at Sonoma. The one major place where you could dive bomb somebody, as he says, is at the end of the closest thing to the straight, the 180, I don't know what it is, turn 10, I think it is, 11, where, guys punt each other, spin them out and everything. But that's the one place you could dive bomb, cause accidents and all sorts of stuff. But everywhere else, you pass under braking and driver skill as opposed to just throwing your car in there and hoping you can keep it all together.
Freak Radio Network, thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. 90+ stations across the country. Hey, man, Sirius XM and every audio app that you can imagine, we're on, and including MAV TV. Thank you guys for having Speed Freaks from Lucas Oil Studios. More from Martin Truex, and this is a no-duh moment when asked about the lack of stage breaks in road course racing. Is it permanent? I'm not sure. I'm sure Stat and Crash can answer that question coming up next. But again, Martin Truex on no stage racing when it comes to road course.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think if there was going to be yellow flags at the stages, we would have, threw away our stage points and pitted before the stage, which is what I talked about yesterday when I was here. That's, I think, why we all like this. With stage racing is awesome. I love it. I think everything about it is great. But at road courses, you had to, for the most part, say, okay, we're just going to give up stage points because we think we can win the race. You kind of had to pick and choose. So I think today, showed that it worked out. We were able to get some stage points, not as many as we should have because towards the end of stage 2 there, the caution fell and we pitted and some guys stayed out. But, in general, I think for the overall strategy of road course racing, it's better without the stops when you get the stage breaks.
I don't think that should just be limited to road courses. I mean, I'm with him in that I like stage racing because of the different opportunities for points for several different drivers. And it's another unique dynamic, but never, even on ovals, I don't believe there should be yellows. I know sometimes you can time pit stops. Screw that. Time your pit stops accordingly based on the activity on the track, not because there's a guaranteed yellow coming up at a certain time. I don't like yellow flags for stages, ovals, or road courses. So I'd be great to do away with them, period. Keep the stages, but don't throw the yellow flags. Just keep the momentum of the race going.
But isn't it also part of the strategy? It allows teams to have different strategies, Crasher, when you do have those stages?
You're still, in my opinion, you could still have that sort of strategy because you're still racing for points at the end of a stage. But Yeah, the yellow and slowing down the momentum and slowing down the activity. No, I don't think that's necessary. On any track.
Martin Truex, your winner from Sonoma here in the Freak Nation. And again, Joe Gibbs was asked about running against Kyle Busch as a team owner and not as a team owner. If you missed any of the interview with Joe Gibbs and Martin Truex, we'll have it up on our YouTube page, Official Speed Freaks on our YouTube page. But getting back to that race, again, I was jacked up about excited. I'm just excited about road course races when you have beasts, whether it's a Trans Am race, just beastie, bulbous cars. I love road course races, but damn it, was I disappointed in this thing. I don't know really what I was expecting, because you're right, Martin Truex, that track doesn't provide some of the gnarliness that is COTA and that is Indianapolis and the road course there. I get it, but just disappointed in what I saw in Sonoma. Can I go back and put it up against former Sonoma races in the past? Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, because the drivers are better now.
Yeah.
They weren't this talented on road courses until the last 10 years or so. So yeah, you could put it up against a race from 20 years ago. The product overall is better now, but you had more carnage 20 years ago.
Freak Nation, his name is Steve Johnson. Always fantastic when he rolls here in the Freak Nation. NHRA Pro Stock Bike winner from Bristol. He's got a lot to say, and I'm not sure really how he's going to say it. That's next. Speed Freaks Pits on the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real, organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use code FREAKS for 15% off. And for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network. Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations valuations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race. It's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
Coming up in moments, Steve Johnson. He is a phenomenal interview. He's one of those guys where anytime he rolls in the Freak Nation, he has something to say. And whether you follow along or not, that's your choice. But when he wins a race, NHRA Pro Stock Biker, Steve Johnson, it's always fantastic when he rolls the Freak Nation. He joins us now, Speed Freak Spitz and the Lucas Oil Studios. Freak Nation, as we mentioned here in the Lucas Oil Studios, we have nothing but winners. That's what the hell took us so long to get Steve Johnson back in here. Hey-o! NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle winner from Bristol joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Johnson, you are an OG when it comes to the freaks, and nothing makes us happier than when a dude like yourself beats all those multi-billion-dollar teams and wins at Pro Stock Bikes. Congratulations, man.
It's a true blessing, man. I'm excited. I get a chance to talk to all the big cheeses because I've been around long enough. I told everybody on the way up here, I talked to Austin Coyle for 3 hours. He kept me awake while I was driving because we've worked on this body, we have a new aerodynamic $25,000 carbon fiber body that costs $10,000 to install and wrap. So for $35,000, you'd think that you could go retire and live in the Bahamas, but we decided to come to Camping World and race at Thunder Valley, and look, we put it all on there in 2 weeks and we won, so it's cool.
Steve Johnson joining us here in the Freak Nation, and it's always, as I said, great when he rolls here with the Freaks. Why such inconsistency with your last few years? I mean, you went on a roll last year with 2 wins in a row, and then all of a sudden you fall off. What happened, Steve?
I don't know. It's they don't do, as you know, they don't do NHRA on paper. You know, it's done at the facility. You watch and you don't get the view that you're here. But when you get a chance to see what's going on inside the pit areas and all the Maidlam and I'm reading a book called Blink. And Mike Heiner gave it to me, and it's all about your thought process. So whether you're making money or in love or raising kids, it's all about your thoughts. And my thoughts are all over the place. And one of the things is J. Paul Getty spent $10 million on a statue, and before he wrote the check, he had 14 months of investigation with the highest appraisers in the world, and they took samples and everything. And it's like, okay, it's real. And then when they unveiled it, everybody that looked at it said it's not real. So it's like the part of your brain that makes your palm of your hand sweaty, or your gut that says, man, this is wrong or this is right. That's a separate part of your brain than the brain that understands the data. And sometimes human beings are just so focused on the data that they forget their gut. And in an age that we're all identifying as whoever we're identifying as, I want to identify as a smart person. So I'm listening to my gut more.
Listening to your gut worked at Thunder Valley. You are now one of only, am I correct on this, 3 Pro Stock motorcycle winners at that track?
Yeah, I was lucky to be here in the old days when they ran the funny cars, when John Force won the funny cars against the top fuel cars. This place is known for its uniqueness. It's known for its variety. and it's known for the fan hospitality. So to win at one of Bruton's tracks is just really, really special. And the fact that that little caveat, that makes it special too.
So what was it about this weekend? Because it was crazy with weather. It was crazy with some of the categories that you guys included, trying to fit the New England Nats and the Thunder Valley Nats together in one event. So what was it about this weekend that you were able to pull it off in the end?
Well, there's a lot of luck, but Penske says, the harder you work, the luckier you get, all that stuff. And I think, again, I'm corny because I love the facility and I love the sanction body. They give us a platform, and you have to cut lights. Our engine's revved to 14,000 RPM. If you miss it by 100 RPM, it's going to slow down or float the valves. You have to scoot back on the second part of the seat in second or third gear. You have to, when the front wheel's in the air, you can't move the handlebars to go straight down the track. You have to push with your feet. And your feet is what moves the motorcycle from left to right. You don't lean off the side. That slows it down. So everything has to unfold. And obviously, one of the rules are hanging on is an important part of the piece. And at the finish line, you have to be on the motorcycle when it crosses the finish line. So all of that stuff has to happen. And to be the first person to do it in 4 rounds of racing really makes it a unique. There's a lot going on, and we wanted to throw the kitchen sink at the last run because we didn't think we had anything to beat that guy. And then my guy went into the trailer and he came out and he says, "There's no kitchen sink in here." So it was like we threw what we had at it, and some ratty old spark plugs. You should have seen the spark plugs we have. Oh my God, they are so ratty. But anyway, and our little hop sing truck and trailer. Oh, my guy ran it into the ditch at the last race, and they put the ball joint in wrong, and it pulls so hard to the right. When you go down Junkyard Row, it wants to pull into a home. It's like, it's just all stuff that you have to do.
Wow. Steve Johnson, pro stock motorcycle winner at Bristol. You laugh. We've known you for 20 plus years. You laugh and you make fun of yourself, but you win. You stay out on the circuit, and there are hundreds of people who wish they were where you are, and now you win events. Is that hard work or brains or just a good laugh that gets you to beat these $1 million teams?
Where the hell did he go? There he is. No, he's back.
Yeah, I'm corny. I love all this stuff. It's there's a lot of desire. Look, I have a scholarship, and I forgot to promote it the entire weekend. It's called Batman, and it's Be a Technician. And we have a scholarship. We give away $4,000 in tools with Peak and Snap-on to engage young people. And the whole deal is you just can't give up on a dream, and you can't. I used to say, man, don't do anything unless you're absolutely loving it. And it's like, that's probably not real, because mom and dad sometimes have to go to work to, pay the bills and do all this stuff. And I get all that, but there are young people that you don't need money. And what you do need to look at is where I'm at. And it's like doing what you want to do. And we're a long way away from being a champion. I've been racing 37 years, and I said if we could win a championship, I'd leave and go get married and have a picket fence and have kids. But I don't want to quit, because that's the brand, right? So the scholarship kind of embodies the brand of what NHRA stands for. And there's opportunities in every corner. Don't let an opportunity pass you by. And when you send in, you go on my website, you fill out a scholarship thing. It's only like 5 questions. But we go to the school to present the scholarship. We don't just mail them a check, and say goodbye. We're a mentor. We hang out with the kids, and that win. It's a really, really unique thing. And because of the sanction body, I get a platform to stand on, and it makes it really unique.
So what's the website that we should go to, or it's in the kids too?
SteveJohnsonRacing.com.
All right. SteveJohnsonRacing.com. Be a technician. Yep. That's the Batman. Yep. That's the deal.
Yep.
Dude, that's cool.
And it's woman. It's got a big woman logo on there. There's a girl that already won the scholarship. So it's like, there's so many women in our industry. There's women in drag racing all over, and they're really, really valuable too. So And I know that because I've tried to hire one. And, a long time ago, they used to say $250 a week. And a long time ago, that was good money. But then I found out $250 a week in the old days was 2 hamburgers and half the driving.
Hey-o.
I knew I'd get a rim shot.
Well, Johnson, listen, I don't know if we've learned anything in this last 7 or 8 minutes, but
people usually don't. They usually don't. No.
Steve Johnson, NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle winner from Thunder Valley, Bristol. Brother, it's been fantastic. Thank you for doing this, my friend. And he just leaves and gets the hell out of here.
I know.
I'm showing you this stuff. I'm showing you this stuff. And look, you asked how I celebrate. We're gonna celebrate big. We're going to Crystal.
Yeah.
That, and I'm going to raid the media center with all the drinks they have. Look at all the scotch and whiskey and everything in there. It's like, wait. It's
hey,
Coca-Cola.
Steve, we got a show to do, man. Okay.
Look, empty boxes. Are you look at the empty boxes of Pizza Hut. Like, they didn't even save me any Pizza Hut, man. It's like
no fair.
Oh, maybe I'll get some coffee from the Keurig machine. That's how you celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Johnson, we got a show to do, you bastard. All right.
All right.
Johnson was there in 1987, the very first pro stock motorcycle race, and he's still kicking it, and he's still winning, and he's still having fun and making us laugh.
Steve Johnson here in the Freak Nation. Say goodbye,
and I got
Steve.
Cheetos. I got Cheetos. There they are, Cheetos. Yeah. See you guys.
Steve. And I can't say anything more. That's it. Steve Johnson here in the Freak Nation. What did I tell you? Coming up next, a major manufacturer leaving the NHRA.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com, use code FREAKS for 15% off, and for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
Dragging your knee at 100 miles per hour, doing a double jump with some extreme flair. If you're into two-wheel racing, make a standing date for Tuesday night on MAV TV. Two-Wheel Tuesday will showcase the world's best motorcycle racers on the most challenging tracks. Whether it's the treacherous high-speed ballet of road racing or the handlebar-to-handlebar combat of the dirt arenas, MAV TV has your two-wheel fix every week on Two-Wheel Tuesday.
It's more than just a slogan. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. Check out GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressively styling the speed freaks since 2001.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio Redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Nation coming up on June 25th of this month, or this year, we'll celebrate 23 years of Speed Freaks. So tonight we're going to have a little bit of a freaking flashback. Let's say in about 15 minutes with Tony Kanaan from 2006, November of 2006. That'll be coming up in about 15 minutes. Also, the second hour, Connor Zelich will be here in the Freak Nation. Dude is 16 years old, kicking ass in the Trans Am Series, the TA2 class, which, by the way, the Trans Am Series and the TA2 class you can see on MAV TV, our home for all the spiffy visuals that you're seeing right now. Also, your Statman Scat. And I don't know if I'll have time to get to this, but if Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell can do it, so can Speed Freaks. I'll just leave that out there. How about that? I'll just leave that out there for you to suck on for about the next 60 minutes. Be sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there for you, man. Of course, the website, speedfreaks.tv. I mentioned going into the last break that there is a major manufacturer in the NHRA that, according to a very good source to the Freaks, will be leaving the NHRA after this year. And I'm also going to tie that into Statman's text to us earlier. And again, these two topics and headlines, we can get lost in it and spend 30 minutes in it, but we're not. But we're just going to give you the nuts and bolts, the Clip Notes version of the major manufacturer leaving the NHRA and Corvette making some news. Factory Corvette making some news that we'll be sure to share with you. Chevrolet, according to our source, will be leaving the NHRA in the Pro Stock class, taking away all the money that they contribute to the factories, to the teams that run the Camaros in the Pro Stock class.
That's huge.
That's a big bump.
That's huge.
Yeah. And playing off that, Corvette and the money, Statman, that Corvette and General Motors have sunk into the Corvette sports car teams, they're taking that money away, or to a degree, taking a lot of that money away, moving forward after this year, from what I understand. And if you cut to the chase, frankly, it's what racing used to be, where you could look on TV or you could look out on your racetrack and see cars that you could roll into the dealer and buy, other than some special modifications that these wizard crew chiefs were pulling under the hood. You could walk into a the show and say, hey, man, I want to buy that thing. Right, Stat?
Exactly. Manufacturers are interested in selling cars. I say this all the time. They're not so much interested in winning races as long as winning races leads to people buying cars. So in the sake of Corvette and Ford, as a matter of fact, with the Mustang, the Ford introduced this past week at Le Mans a GT3 Mustang that people can buy. And you hear about customer teams that they could go in and buy the car. It meets GT3 specs, and they could go race it. The Corvette's going to do the same thing. GM's going to do the same thing with the Corvette, and there'll be GT3 Corvettes that they'll make available to customer teams, and there'll be Corvette drivers. Maybe the guys that are driving the car now will be available to some of these privateer teams to help them, much like Pat Long did for Porsche when he went to Wright Motorsports and some of the other programs that he ran with. So, yeah, they're not going to leave racing in the sake of sports car racing with Corvette, but they are going to not spend as much money racing the car, and they're going to sell the cars to manufacturers, to teams. And some of those teams, in fact, they have a couple of cars that they're testing now, and they're making those cars available to some of the teams that are in negotiating contracts. And they'll say, this is the car you're going to get. And when we get through we finish building them, it's supposed to be available in November.
Was I far off the mark, Stat, that they realized that cars on the track, people see cars on the track, they want to be able to, or they want people to be able to roll into their dealership and purchase something that looks like that car?
Yeah, that looks like that car. I don't know that you'll be able to drive GT3 cars on the freeway and go bombing down the freeway at 200 miles an hour, but that's you will be able to buy the car if you want to go racing, and that's going to be a lot less expensive than spending millions to go race and win Le Mans like they did this weekend in the GTE category. So, they're going to be building cars. They want to do this. Manufacturers in Europe have been doing this for several years. It's a way to have yourself in the racing program without spending the millions, and let the privateer spend the millions, and you support them to the nth degree. They've been doing this in sports car racing for a long time. In fact, World Challenge survived and thrived when they went to GT3, and now they have GT4 rules that they have the cars that are out there, and manufacturers know that they could come and they don't have to race against hot rods. They could race against cars because they know what they are, and they follow the same rules everywhere.
Okay, so in talking about the sports car side of this whole thing with GM, yeah, you're right. This has been going on for a long time overseas. There's a lot of rich people that drive sports cars. It doesn't affect them as much as it's going to affect an entire class known as pro stock in the NHRA. So how does the NHRA get by with their pro stock class without any more factory GM support? There's a lot of drivers that don't have the money that some sports car drivers do. They're going to be left just hanging at the end of the season.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. There's rich people, and they're interested in all sorts of things. They may, Mopar has been doing the same thing in making cars available, and they have races. Like Leah Pruitt used to drive one of these cars in competition. So they'll make cars available. I think they call them drag pack. Is that what Mopar called them? Mm-hmm. And so they'll make cars available to race so that the brand will be in front of TV and fans in the stands. But they just won't be spending the millions to go out there and make available to people to, and they may have some special deals for guys that have been out there that have been loyal to the program. and like Greg Anderson and the Jegs team and all these people, they're going to have to come up with something. And they may, have some lease programs for engines. Maybe they'll make cars available to lease them. They'll build them and you could lease them from Chevrolet and give them back. But yeah, the idea is for the manufacturer to sell something to somebody and not spend the money themselves.
Is that the way you understood it, Kenny? Or you understood it as they were leaving, period?
They were taking their money out of the NHRA and supporting teams. And that this person who is going to be losing some of that money is already talking to Toyota, bringing Toyota money in. And you talk about a spec series. Are we going to see nothing but Corollas or Camrys in pro stock?
Pro stock.
Because of this?
We got nothing but Camaros now. So, that I thought this would happen when Toyota built the pushrod engines for truck racing and for NASCAR, that I thought they would go into pro stock 10 years ago. But I was told by a manufacturer PR rep that it was too expensive to go pro stock racing, and it was cheaper to go NASCAR. Now, I don't know that was the case, but that's what I was told. Toyota has an engine, pushrod engine, that they could make available. So if it wouldn't surprise me at all if Toyota stepped in there. They're already involved in the nitro categories to help them figure out the racetracks and put aerodynamic bodies on funny cars. And, a lot of stuff that they do technology wise, but they just don't put the engines and so forth. And that's not a top fuel Camry.
I mean, it's far above my pay grade, but again, does the fact that, let's say, Erica Enders, she won this weekend in Thunder Valley. Tomorrow, are there people lining up at Chevrolet dealerships, specifically, let's just say, there in Tennessee, to buy Camaros? I don't know. Maybe.
Chances are they're not. I mean, if they were doing that, then Chevrolet would stay involved, because Chevrolet wants to sell you, GM wants to sell you a Chevrolet, whether it's an Impala station wagon or a Colorado pickup or whatever it is. They want to put your butt and your payment book.
Freak Nation, coming up next, the Freakin' Flashback 2006. Tony Kanaan will be here in the Freak Nation. You don't want to miss it. We all look so much younger.
Oh, no.
And man, were we not innocent.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real, organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use code FREAKS for 15% off. And for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation, you get in trouble every now and then not getting your fruits and vegetables. I got a solution for it. It's called Field of Greens. That's Field of Greens. Go to fieldofgreens.com. Real organic superfood. In one scoop, you get your daily allowance of fruits and vegetables. We're on the road quite often, Crasher, and when we need to get our metabolism kicking, we go to Field of Greens.
It's not just when we need to get our metabolism kicking. It is, hello, health. This is good for you. What it is it's superfoods for a super you. And I know people throw around the word superfoods all the time and they say, oh yeah, some of this is created in a lab. No, nothing in this jar is created in a lab. It's actual fruits and actual vegetables ground down into these tiny little specks that you put in your water bottle like mine. It's so easy, you guys. Today, I was eating like crap, watching races, got up late. I didn't have much of anything except 2 scoops in this, and I got my daily serving of fruits and vegetables.
Bang. Go to fieldofgreens.com, keyword freaks, and get 15% off. That's 15% off with the code word freaks at fieldofgreens.com and an extra 10% off for recurring orders. Fieldofgreens.com, keyword freaks. Coming up in moments, Freak Nation. Man, going back to 2006, as we're about to celebrate 23 years of Speed Freaks on June 25th of this month. But we're going to go back to 2006 where Tony Kanaan joined us on stage in Las Vegas for one of our ESPN2 shows for SEMA. And even back then, we were giving Formula One a hard time. And we put Tony Kanaan on the spot. Again, now an Indy 500 champion, just retired from the IndyCar series. And he had a championship under his belt when he joined us on stage. Again, look how young we are. Statman still looks the same, which is a compliment, Freak Nation. But yeah, when it comes to Formula One and IndyCar, I think you know where several of us stood, especially when we go to Tony Kanaan, again, from 2006 in a freaking flashback, as we're celebrating 23 years of Speed Freaks. Step further here in the Freak Nation, part of the Mopar Speed Shop here in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about Formula One versus IndyCar. Isn't it time we just dump Formula One and start supporting our own series like IndyCar? And a gentleman who has a take on this, would you please welcome 2004 IndyCar champion, Tony Kanaan. What's up, Tony?
What's happening?
So shouldn't Americans just finally get rid of Formula One and start supporting our own, like IndyCar?
Wow, I mean, there's space for everybody, but I would say in America we should, the way they do it in Europe, I mean, we should give more attention to IndyCar than the Formula One.
Look, Bill Simpson said it best when he was on our show a year ago. Formula One sucks. I don't have time to watch Formula One. I would rather watch women's basketball than stay up at 3 in the morning to see Formula One. Now that Michael Schumacher is done with Formula One, I got no reason to watch it. I'd rather watch IndyCar, I'd rather watch Champ Car, I'd rather watch ARCA Remax Series than Formula One.
Tony, I'm on the IndyCar side for sure. Definitely we need to support IndyCar more, but isn't Formula One the pinnacle? I mean, it's the best motorsport in the world.
I have to say that the races are not as exciting as IndyCar or as a NASCAR race or as Champ Car race. So I would say Yes, and they have a lot. They spend a lot more money. I mean, it's ridiculous how much money they spend on the cars. The technology that they have, it's huge. So I would say that makes a big difference. Discrepancy between the big teams and the small teams, and some drivers were never going to have a chance to win. So I like Formula One. It's been my dream since I was a kid, but now I'm on IndyCar.
Tony, what does a Formula One team spend?
I would say
successful.
Ferrari right now, it's spend up to $100 million a year.
Okay, what does a successful
just on the car, besides from Schumacher's salary? Yeah.
What does IndyCar? What does a successful IndyCar team like yourself spend on a car?
I don't spend anything. Michael does, but
Give me a
I make
figure.
him spend more depending on the crashes that I do. But I would say a budget will be between $6 to $7 million a year.
Look, at Ralph Schumacher could spend $1 billion. He still won't win. I don't care how much technology we're talking about. If you're a dunce, you're a dunce.
Yeah, but I'm going to take the other side because the racing in F1 is very different, and there are different things you cheer for. It's not like wheel to wheel that you see in NASCAR and the IRL. It's real racing, the technology, guys racing machines. And this year, you do see a lot of wheel to wheel and guys coming from the back of the pack to win at the front.
Hey, Tony, screw it. You know, the F1 drivers don't get to go on Donald Trump's Apprentice like you did.
They don't get to eat the pizza that I ate. I never got fired, so.
Hey, Kanan, let's not compare apples to oranges here. The IndyCar series, everybody bows to the 800-pound gorilla, NASCAR. IndyCar, Champ Car, NHRA, somebody's got to do something to take some of that money from NASCAR or sit there and be its little B from here on in. IndyCar has to do something, Kanan.
Yeah, well, we're working on it. I don't think we wanted to compete with NASCAR, but we think we have a different product and as good as them. But I guess with the split, they definitely got a big advantage. NASCAR got a big advantage with that, and we definitely got to do something. I think the first thing is to get back together, I would say.
You think? But look, Tony, when you guys get back together, you might not have any drivers left. AJ Allmendinger, I mean, look at what they're doing. Sam Hornish Jr. is coming over there.
Huh?
And even Formula One boy, Pablo Montoya, decides to come over and take NASCAR money. NASCAR is the king. I'm sorry. It really is.
No, they are. And then I would say that, obviously, as a race car driver, you want to race no matter what. I'm not saying that Allmendinger didn't go there just because of the money. I think he felt an opportunity. They gave him a great car. Montoya is the same thing. Juan Pablo had tried everything in his life, so he wanted to do something else, and he's going to play with the big boys now. We'll see what's going to happen.
Would you go drive those big cars? Is that a dream of yours?
Why not? It has 4 wheels and a steering wheel, so why not? So I might ask Tony Stewart for a job one day. Never know.
That, of course, is Tony Kanan, your 2004 IndyCar champion here in the Speed Freaks pits. TK, thanks for coming in here, my friend.
Thank you. I have to say you're looking good. You're looking like a country singer, like Kenny Rogers or something. I would say.
But the guy blasted me. We've got him in front of 90 million people on ESPN2. It's okay. I still love you like a brother, even though there's no similarities.
Oh, boy.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
On so many levels.
There you go.
And now Kanan is driving stock cars with Rubens Barrichello. And wow. I'm just blown away by some of the comments in there. The Apprentice. Oh, my God.
Oh, Statman. The things that we said and did 17 years ago, my friend. Surprised you didn't walk out of the room, buddy.
Yeah, well, hey, I was worried that the belt on my jeans wouldn't stand up, so I had to stay in the seat. I didn't want to entertain the millennials in the crowd by having my pants fall off. Yeah.
You look snazzy in that yellow shirt, though.
Yeah. Freak Nation, we're celebrating 23 years coming up in 14 days. So we'll be showing some flashbacks, and that was a flashback to November of 2006, of course, when we were on ESPN2. That's if you're watching us on MAV TV. If you're listening to us on the Freak Radio Network, yeah, man, November 2006. That actually aired in February of 2007. But regardless, man, we have just endless audio and video of doing this thing for 23 years. It's absolutely stunning on some of the things I come across that I haven't seen in a long damn time.
Yeah.
And
including that haircut. You haven't seen that in a day or two, have you?
No, I haven't.
Kenny Rogers.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah. You knew when to hold them and when to fold them on that hair.
Just teed it up for you there, didn't I? So, yeah, I'll be digging deep into the archives coming up next weekend and then the following weekend. Suave, when you see some of that video from back in the day, geez, let me see. You were in 2003. Were you 11? Or no, hold on. You were 13, 14 in 2006?
He always forgets when you were born.
I was
doesn't he?
15.
Yeah, about sums it up, doesn't it? When the millennial says that,
I still look good, just like Tony Kanaan too. Tony Kanaan hasn't aged a day then.
You know,
since
that
then.
is so true. Kanan looks exactly the same. The rest of us,
so that's so the IndyCar Series Crasher and Champ Car were still split,
yes.
right?
When did they reunite? 08-ish? Yeah, that was before though. Yes.
Right.
Because we referenced it right there in that interview. If you get back, when you get back. Oh, what crazy times those were.
And we've got about 1 minute, Crasher. All of it had to do with the fact that the IndyCar Series, previously the IRL, they had the behemoth of the Indy 500.
Right. Well, yeah, we don't have a minute that we can get into this.
Yeah.
There's a great book by John Orovitz, though, which describes everything that led up to the split. But yeah, kart at the time was getting very expensive, and a lot of owners that were just not wanting to play nice with Tony George. Tony said, fine, I'll take my Indy 500 and I'll go in this direction. And the other guys said, we're going to go in this direction and keep the rest of the schedule. IndyCar, which was IRL at the time, became ovals only. Champ Car, which was kart, did everything. And well, thank goodness they got back together. That's the bottom line. Everything is IndyCar now. Everything, including the stats. So there you go.
All right. Tony Kanaan here as we celebrate 25 years on the 23 years on the 25th of June, Freak Nation. We've been on the Freak Radio Network for that long, and now on MAV TV and previous other TV networks. Coming up next, we hear from your Sonoma winner and team owner, Joe Gibbs, and Martin Truex on running against former teammate and driver, Kyle Busch. It's coming up next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real, organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com, use code FREAKS for 15% off, and for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
As a trucker, you've seen every kind of road condition out there. One of the toughest is icy, freezing weather, which can thicken diesel fuel and plug system filters. That's why you need Lucas Anti-Gel Cold Weather Diesel Treatment. It prevents fuel gelling at extremely cold temperatures, lowers the cold filter plugging point of diesel and biodiesel fuels, and removes moisture from the entire fuel system. In turn, you get maximum performance and reliability. For more info, visit lucasoil.com. Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Big sports headlines this past week were Messi going to Miami and the Saudis taking over the PGA Golf Tour. They're calling it a merger, but the money is coming from the Saudis, and the branding remains under discussion, we're told. I was immediately drawn to the idea of Saudis taking over Formula One, another global sports entity, but I learned Liberty Media rejected a Saudi bid of $20 billion to buy that series last December. Apparently, Liberty wants an offer in the $30 billion range, or put another way, about $1.5 billion per team per car on the starting grid. It's another reason Michael Andretti keeps getting rejected in his offer to buy his way into F1. The people who run the sport don't see $1.5 billion of value in Andretti's efforts. Told the Saudis base their economy on oil at $100 a barrel. Last week it was about $75. So they need to find ways to make up the difference. Sports marketing, tourism, and real estate development is a start. They'll also need to find ways to offset any corporate partners who be against working with the Saudis because of that country's human rights issues. So stand by. The Saudis in motorsports isn't far-fetched going forward. Peace.
Coming up in moments, you're going to hear from your Sonoma Cup winner, Martin Truex Jr., talking about running against his former teammate Kyle Busch, who had a legitimate shot to win the damn thing. And then, of course, the team owner Joe Gibbs talks about running against Kyle Busch. That's coming up in moments, but playing off the Statman Scat. So Messi snubs Saudi Arabia, or Saudi, billions, or I don't know, this is a crap ton of money to go play ball over there. And to play off what Statman said there, now the Saudis are going after Neymar, the Brazilian superstar, to come over there and play soccer. And this has minutia written all over it of my comment, and it's probably a no S, Sergeant. But man, it just feels so freaking dirty. I get on the whole human rights thing, and I could start all kinds of fires right now, figuratively, but I'm not going to do that. But it just, when the PGA did not have the money to compete against the Saudis and the Live Tour, that's a fact. They didn't have the money. They had to acquiesce and just give in. Messi, for whatever reason, he turned down the money. Liberty Media, you heard Statman talk about, they turned down $22 billion. What do you think the stockholders thought of that? I don't know, but it's just such a strange time when it comes to sport. and Saudi trying to, and again, this is my opinion, trying to either repair or improve their image around the world, whether it's soccer, whether it's motorsports, it's golf. It's just strange times. And when the kind of money that you talk about, they were throwing around at Liberty Media to buy Formula One, again, $22 billion. That's $22 billion, buddy.
Yeah, though they paid. I've heard as much as 8 and as little as 4 billion. My contact tells me it was 4 billion. So 20 billion would be a 5 times increase in less than 10 years. They want 30 billion to get rid of it, and not get rid of it. That has a bad connotation, but to sell it. And if the Speed Freaks could come up with 30 billion, we could own Formula One. Anybody come up with 30 billion, they could own Formula One. That seems to be the number that they want. And that's why they're so protective of the teams and the value. There's some teams that are worth more, some teams that are worth less, but they don't want anybody coming in that is going to diminish the value of the overall thing, because they're looking to sell eventually.
AKA Andretti, at least that's their perception of what would happen.
Yeah, they say there's other teams that have made bids to buy teams on the, again, the issue is that they've established a ceiling on spending so that in theory it's possible to make money at it. Who knows if that's the case, but it's possible. Hedge funds and so forth are getting involved because they can make money. The hedge funds are not involved in a lot of American sports, like the NFL, for example. They have a rule that says you can't have more than 25 people in the ownership group. So if a hedge fund or a private bank comes in, you argue there's more than 25 people involved, but there's no such rule in Formula One. So these people that come in and the brands that they own, they could put on the cars in addition to owning the team and potentially make money from the television contracts.
Crasher, Suave, again, a brain fart just occurred, which is probably about every 5th minute with me. Someone of prominence came out in the last 48 hours that was hammering that something has to change with Formula One because Max Verstappen's going to win every race. Do you remember who it was? Was it a sports personality, someone formerly in Formula One? Do you remember? I read it somewhere.
Oh, I did not read that.
You didn't see that?
No.
But that leads me to this.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said all over the world. People are tired of one guy winning. And probably the only one that's not, or two guys, are the owners of Formula One, Horner, and he's not an owner, but he runs a team, and Max Verstappen.
It was somebody it might have been Dale Jr. I don't know who it was. Someone prominently out in front of motorsports. Yeah,
I found it.
All right,
I found it. Here's a headline. I will tweet it out at Speed Freaks. You can check it out.
All right.
FIA president pushes for big change in upcoming 2026 rule revolution. The president, Mohammed bin Sulayman, urges Formula One to prioritize lighter cars in the forthcoming 2026 rule set.
Okay.
There you go.
That's 2026.
But here's my point, Richie. You climbed on the Formula One bandwagon quicker than I did. I mean, you were solid. You had a 5-point seatbelt on that son of a bitch. Where are you now with Formula One?
Not where I was. Not where I was a year and a half ago, even. It's in the background. I'll check out highlights on Twitter. I will watch the North American races in the background. They're on Sundays when they're here in North America, either in Canada or here in the United States. Other than that, it's not happening. I'm just not caring. Max Verstappen's going to win again. I don't care at all about Formula One, really, as much as I used to. But I will say this. There was this news story out this week that they're doing a multicast coming up on ESPN.
Yes,
later this year. And it's basically going to it's Will Arnett, comedian, Arrested Development, many other things, and Daniel Ricciardo, the most popular driver in Formula One over the last couple of years, together doing a Manning Brothers type side broadcast to go along with the main telecast. And I agree with people who said this week. I will watch because it'll be more entertaining and it will make me laugh than the actual races themselves.
I agree. Danny Rick's going to be on site, and then Will Arnett will be from his home studio or another studio. Is that correct?
Yeah, he'll be down in the corner like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
There's a shadow.
Statman, as you heard in the interview, we got about a minute and a half. As you heard in that interview, a minute and a half with Tony Kanaan. Again, you were the contrarian or to us crushing Formula One. And it's tough to leave Lewis Hamilton out of this, your opinion, I would imagine. What does this do for a guy like yourself that's such a proponent over the years for Formula One, the technology and the ability to drive that rocket ship? Where are you with the predictability of the series?
Well, I don't know that it's predictable. There's the strategy is very different. The kind of tire, when you take your pit stop and so forth. And the fact that Verstappen wins now, it's, Lewis won almost as much as Verstappen is winning now, but somebody at Mercedes had the brilliant idea to change the car, and it was a bad idea. And it's taken them 2 years to get back in the right track. Now they're 2 years behind whatever Red Bull has done. So it's not Red Bull's fault that he's winning all the time. The people that have the money, Ferrari is making mistakes, and Mercedes made a dumb mistake. Why they thought that would work, I don't know.
Whether it's the NHRA or NASCAR, we've got many different winners. You've got mid-pack winners winning races in the NHRA. Steve Johnson's showed that, again, he could win a race. Pro stock bike. It doesn't have all kind of crazy money, but Formula One, holy smokes. I was on there, both feet firmly planted on that bandwagon for about 3 or 4 months. And then
Max Mosley'd, and then the rest
right.
is history.
Freak Nation, coming up next, a 16-year-old kicking the bejesus out of dudes 3 times his age. He joins us next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. 3, 2, and 1.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real, organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use code FREAKS for 15% off. And for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
Freak Nation, it's not every Sunday night that you get a 16-year-old.
Oh, we just love technical issues.
Yeah, tech issues. We have some bugs in the machine tonight. We will start again. Holy smokes, that's the second error that we've had tonight, but that's what happens when you depend on tech, Freak Nation. Let's start it again, Freak Nation. His name is Connor Zilich here in the Freak Nation. We got this? Freak Nation, it's not every Sunday night that you get a 16-year-old race winner here in the Freak Nation, Lucas Oil Studios, but we decided to let him in here. Connor Zilich joining us here in the Freak Nation, TA2 Trans Am winner last weekend in Detroit, and many other victories that we'll get to in moments. But probably the first thing that I ask a 16-year-old is, I saw video of you drinking something after your race. Be honest with me. Have you ever snuck in an alcoholic beverage after a race win, Connor?
No, that was grape juice. I'm not cool enough for that stuff yet. So give me 4.5 years and I'll be drinking champagne. But for now, it's gonna be grape juice.
Has anyone tried to slip you any alcoholic beverage? Bro, you're from North Carolina, man, and you got all kinds of illegal beverages up there. Has anyone tried to slip you some illegal beverage?
It depends if we're talking on live television or if we're talking as friends. But the answer for now is going to be no.
Well, the good news is I remember the first time I had a beer. I was 15 years old, and a buddy of mine's older brother handed me a Michelob. And I took one swig of it and thought, what the hell are we drinking? And then, of course, 10 years later, I became an alcoholic. I'm joking. Listen, Connor, it's not lost on us what you're doing. We can get hung up on your age, but you aren't winning races, as Statman likes to say, because you're running up front. You're winning races because you work your way up to the front, and that's what you did in Detroit all the way back to grab actually second place, but according to results and regulations, the person who won the race got his ass kicked, and you won the race.
That's right.
Where did you learn these chops to become such a study of racing?
I grew up racing go-karts. It's not in the family or anything like that. I'm first generation. Grew up racing go-karts, started when I was 4.5. My dad used to take his car to the track, but he was just a hobbyist. And then my soccer coach told my dad we should go to the go-kart track. So that's where I got bit by the bug. And I was playing soccer until I was 10, 11 years old, but I grew up racing go-karts as well on the weekends where I wasn't playing soccer. And I actually had to make a decision. I had made like the state team when I was 10 or 11 years old for soccer. And we told them I'd miss a few games due to some races. And they kicked me off the top team and put me on the B team. And that's when I said, I'm going to commit to racing. So it's kind of been, we've been learning as we're going. My dad obviously doesn't know that much. We've had a lot of guidance and a lot of good people around us to help get me where I am, but it hasn't been the easiest, that's for sure.
By who? Who has given you some of the best advice or some of the greatest encouragement in your rise through the ranks in motorsports so far?
I really was set on racing IMSA or sports cars, and 2020, 2021, I started racing on the same go-kart team as Keelan Harvick, Kevin's son. So I actually got to spend some time with Kevin, and he kind of has helped me a lot and introduced me to the right people. We don't work together anymore, but he did a lot for me in a year and a half that I spent with him, and gave me a lot of good advice and helped me get to kind of where I am right now with the team I'm with, and has kind of pushed my focus towards NASCAR racing, oval racing, and he's had a lot of influence on where I am headed right now.
Okay, that time frame that you just mentioned right there, 2020 and 2021, when you met the Harvicks, I want to talk about a 4-year span in there from 2017 to 2021 when you won 7 championships, which is just astronomically amazing. But COVID was in there. So how were you able as a young kid to balance the craziness in the world with your 7 titles and trying to figure out your way in this racing world?
Yeah, I actually spent the whole summer of 2020 when COVID was at its peak in Europe, where restrictions were crazy and times were crazy. There was one time we tried flying to Europe, and we had all the legal documents from an attorney, and they ended up changing the regulations the day we flew. So I flew to New York, and they wouldn't let me go to Europe, so I got stuck there. But it was wild. I mean, I was racing every weekend, and for part of that time I was in public school, missing 50, 60 days a year of school, maintaining straight A's and still balancing my life and school. And it was tough for me as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, dealing with things that someone that is 20 should be dealing with. But it has matured me a lot, and it's been a really good experience for me as a kid growing up, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
I've boiled everything down to 4 M's. You mentioned soccer. The biggest headline in the world in soccer right now is Messi and Miami. That's 2 of the M's. What do you think about that move?
I'm amazed. It's like Lewis Hamilton going to IndyCar or something like something crazy like that. I mean, it'll be really interesting, that's for sure, and I'm excited to see it. But yeah, unexpected to say the least.
Yes.
So, but the next M, you mentioned all A's. Does that include math, where you're taking home these A's?
Yeah, actually it does. I was really good at math in middle school. I haven't taken math in 2.5 years, actually. So I might not be as good anymore, but I could after freshman year, I could have graduated from math. So I'm smart. I don't know where both my parents always say I'm the dumbest thing on the face of the planet, but apparently I'm book smart. I just might not have the common sense. I guess you get one or the other, and I didn't get the common sense one.
Well, there's a lot of people that can't navigate the streets of Detroit, and you certainly can. So let me go to the last M in Detroit is music. What's on your playlist, dude? What are you listening to? Heavy metal, rock? What are you drawn to?
I grew up listening in the car with my dad to 80s, 90s rock. So I kind of thought I was too cool for it when I was 13, 14, but it's starting to grow on me again. So some old rock is good. I enjoy some country music every once in a while. I can't listen to it for too long, though. I'll get sick of it. But I listen to everything, really. I mean, you could put any song on in the car and I'd enjoy it. And I have like over 1,000 songs in my playlist, and I can sing every song word for word. So music is definitely big in my car when I'm driving. So I have a lot of pride in my music taste. Foo Fighters, Nickelback. We're going to a Smashing Pumpkins concert later in the year. Nickelback concert later in the year. Matchbox 21 concert later in the year. So
you notice, Kenny, let me jump in here. He got it right. He didn't call it the Foo Fighters. He called it Foo Fighters. You really are a fan.
Yeah, I've already been to one Foo Fighters concert in my life too. I enjoy that stuff.
That's incredible. He's 16, Freak Nation. Hasn't taken math in what, 2.5 years?
Doesn't need to.
What do you say? He could graduate high school at 9th grade? The hell were you doing at freaking 14?
We're not going there.
No, some of the statute of limitations may not have run out on some of the stuff I was doing.
But we obviously had to cut that interview short, so it will be up on the YouTubeage.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will send the full interview to Statman to put it up on speedfreaks.tv. Actually, the full interview is about 20 minutes long. Typically for the radio show and the TV show, we got to cut them down to about 10, 11 minutes. And
we did talk to him for a while.
Yes, we did.
You're right. Yeah.
Connor,
he's a cool dude. I hope he doesn't disappear into the holler like some of the NASCAR clowns do.
No, he just got the ways about him. It's again, when we had the interview taped earlier this week, he was about 30 minutes late, then 45 minutes late, and apologized profusely. But damn it, we got it in. Connor Zillage, keep your eye open for this guy, man. He's highly sought after if he can bring a whole lot of money to those that are seeking him. It's the way they roll, man.
Money or social media, yeah.
Yep. Kyle Kirkwood, we'll get to you next week, maybe. If you missed any of the show, go to the YouTube page, Official Speed Freaks or speedfreaks.tv. Been a good one, man. Almost 23 years coming up in 2 weeks. Holy smokes.
Wow.
Bonkers. All right, Statman, shoot the juice to the moose and
let it loose.
And 3, 2, and 1. Have a great week, Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real, organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com, use code FREAKS for 15% off, and for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS. at fieldofgreens.com.
Dragging your knee at 100 miles per hour, doing a double jump with some extreme flair. If you're into two-wheel racing, make a standing date for Tuesday night on MAV TV. Two-Wheel Tuesday will showcase the world's best motorcycle racers on the most challenging tracks. Whether it's the treacherous high-speed ballet of road racing or the handlebar-to-handlebar combat of the dirt arenas, MAV TV has your two-wheel fix every week on Two-Wheel Tuesday.
It's more than just a slogan. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3. General Tire delivers for whatever you do. Check out GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressively styling the speed freaks since 2001.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.